In this episode, I'm going to show you how to transform the Claude AI app into a full tech support assistant that can be deployed on the field. Not only the app will be able to generate a ticket number, but also provide real-world scenario support to the tech on premises. And that means that the app will be able to show you known issues, video examples, official manufacturer webpage, and phone numbers that you can request on the fly, but also provide you voice manual instructions just by talking to the app. And of course, at the end, we'll be able to generate the invoice in seconds. We are basically shrinking hours on the field into minutes and minutes into seconds. This is also known in the AI business world as workforce amplification. Let me show you how. Show me how to enable Rocksteady mode in my Osmo Action.
Video mode section. The best video settings. Quick steps from the manual. 1. Swipe up on the touchscreen in video mode. 2. Tap the Rocksteady enable icon, top left of screen.
Show me a video related to the shutter noise.
So yesterday I did this little demonstration of manually focusing a Voigtlander lens on my A7R, and this lens is a great option for a camera that there aren't very many lenses available for yet. And there is one problem, however. Shutter shake is something that people have been talking about, where you push the shutter and this is a...
And at the end, the app can create the bill and we can send it to the customer via email. Hi, my name is Christian, and welcome to Creating Job Security by Mastering the AI Superstack. So let's talk about the architecture for this app. First, I don't want you to feel intimidated by the word architecture because running prompts is very easy. But if you really want to learn AI, you need to understand what's going on and why. There's something called prompt chaining that is designed to break up large prompts into smaller ones. And the benefits of doing this is that it's cheaper for the AI model to create results. And second, the fact is that some AI models are just better at some things than the other models. For example, Gemini, who is owned by Google, is better at providing Google and YouTube results. And Grok, who is owned by Elon Musk, is better at getting social media information since he also owns X. The same goes for Copilot, since it's owned by Microsoft, it's the best AI for Office, and so on. So the architecture you see on the screen is not only designed to save you tokens, which is how AI models calculate cost, but also to utilize the AI models to their full potential. So in this particular architecture, we're going to use Gemini to gather all the information about videos available for the product. Then we're going to use Gemini to also get the product official information page, the phone number for the company, the support page, etc. And then we're going to use Gemini and Grok to find any known issues that the product has. And using all that information plus the official manual that we downloaded from the product page, we're going to create a tune file. We will talk about tune files later in this video. And then once we have that tune file and we have many other tune files, we're going to create an index file. And finally, we're going to load that all into a Claude project, which we will run inside our smartphone. Before I show you my phone, I want to explain the concept of a phone emulator. This is a piece of software that allows me to see my phone inside my PC or Mac. I use this because recording a physical screen with a camera creates glare and blur. By using a phone emulator, I'm capturing a direct digital feed into my screen recorder. It's how I get that crystal clear professional look that you see on the screen right now.
Welcome to your Executive Presence and Speaking Coach. I will place you in realistic high-stakes scenarios and evaluate how you communicate.
And for the iPhone and the iOS, it's the same thing. Now let's dive in. The next concept I want to talk about is using prompts in your smartphone. You want to execute prompts in your smartphone, but you don't want to create or edit them in your smartphone. First of all, any prompt that has any real value is just too long to read inside a phone. So the best thing is to create and edit the prompts in your computer and then upload them to your phone. And the easiest way to accomplish this is to have your computer browser and your smartphone using the same AI account. Once the prompt exists in your browser, then close all the apps on your phone and reload the AI app, and the prompt will appear. The first thing we need to talk about is the token-oriented object notation file, also known as a TOON file. If this sounds familiar, it's because they're posted in LinkedIn all the time as the best way to store information for AI models. Now, why is that? First of all, they are text-based files that are mostly comma-separated, very similar to CSV files, and therefore AI models can read them fast without spending too many tokens, and that means you can get more AI for less money. In this particular case, we can read large product manuals really fast if we extract the content from the PDF manual into a TOON file, and that is what we're going to do next. So the creation of the TOON file is done by running a series of prompts. And this is the first one. And basically, this is the official manufacturer lookup, if you want to call that. And we're going to get all of these fields. We're going to get manufacturer, product name, etc. So let's run this. And once again, we're going to Gemini, because Gemini is owned by Google and it's probably the best AI model to run this in. So we're going to use DJI. Then we're going to Osmo Action. Now, in this particular case, using the right model number is very important, because now it's going to allow Google to obtain the exact specs for that product. Okay. Now, the year of production probably for DJI is not as important, but for other manufacturers like Apple, it is. So we're going to include the year just in case. And basically what Gemini is going to do is going to do a Google lookup. And that's exactly what we want. And so all this information that you see here will be used to create the TOON file. And this is very important, because if the tech in the future needs to call the manufacturer, right, or need to go to a specific web page, it's all included. And we're using Gemini. Instead of gathering this information manually using Google, we're tapping into Gemini's capabilities. So the next prompt we're going to try is the YouTube Video Intelligence Researcher. And this prompt is going to give you all the videos that are related to the product. And the most important part is that we only want videos that have chapters. So we can tie those chapters to the token file, to the TOON file. So let's select it, hit copy, go to Gemini. And we're using Gemini because Gemini is owned by Google and YouTube is owned by Google. And therefore, this is the best AI model to use to obtain this information. So let's use DJI as the company name. And then the product name is Osmo Action. Now I have the ability to introduce the model number, but if I do, the number of search hits is going to be lower. So I'm going to say skip. So I made this optional. And also the next question is year production. I'm going to put skip, but year production, for example, for Mac products does matter. So it's an option. So let's see what comes back. And here we go. So as you can see, I get the URL, the duration of the video, and here's the most important part. This is what we're going to tie back to the token file, to the TOON file. So we know exactly where we can find the video that pertains to that specific question that you have. Okay. Now this is a funny prompt, because if I run this twice, okay, and you need to know this happens with all the AI models. So if I put DJI again, okay, and I put Osmo Action, and I hit skip, just like I did before, skip, and skip again, you're going to see that sometimes you get different results by running the same prompt more than once. Okay. There you go. So you see, we ran it twice in a row. And one time we got only one video, and the next time we got 3 videos. And this happens with all the AI models, regardless of the company that you choose. So just be aware of that. So the next 2 prompts that we're going to run to build this tune file are the known issues intelligence researchers. And we have 2. We have one for Grok AI, and we have one for Gemini AI. So if you're wondering why we need to run 2 prompts, well, that goes back to the whole thing about the AI Superstack. So the AI Superstack is a family of AI models that are run by different companies. Okay. So for example, Gemini is owned by Google, and therefore no one is better at gathering information from Google and YouTube than Gemini. If you go to Grok, although Grok can also run searches on YouTube and Google probably, it's not going to be as good as Gemini. But on the other hand, Grok is owned by X or Elon Musk. So for social media, Grok's going to be the best, right? And if you go through all the family of AIs, you will find that, for example, Copilot is the best for Office, and Claude is the best for code, and etc. That's how the AI Superstack works. So that's why we're running 2 different prompts to gather the same information. So let's run it. So this is Gemini's. Let's select it, copy. And it works just like all the other prompts that we ran. So it's going to ask me for a manufacturer name. Okay, so I'm going to say DJI. Osmo Action, right? And in this case, I am going to include the model number because we only want known issues for that. And I'm going to skip the year. Okay. All right. So it's going to go through Google, right? Gemini is owned by Google, and it's going to find out all the known issues. And it doesn't have to be a YouTube video. For example, here's a DJI support link, right? Another DJI support link. So it's looking for all the different issues that it can find. Look, it found an article in Reddit, etc. Right? So this is exactly what we want. Now let's go and run Groks. So I'm going to select everything here. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go to the Grok AI. And there might be some overlapping, but that's not a problem because when we build a tune file, we're going to make sure that there's no duplicate. So it's DJI again. So Osmo Action. And of course, we're going to include the model number, and we're going to skip the year. Okay. So what is Grok going to do? It's going to go to X. Okay. It's standing by. Okay. Run the research. Sometimes you have to do these things in some of these models. And again, I'm using a free Grok account. So probably I would get a different result if I was using a paid Grok account. So let's see what you see it's searching X, it's searching the web, and it's going to search all the social media sites. It's searching Reddit, it's searching DJI as well. And so don't worry if you have overlapping, because when we build a tune file, we are going to remove all duplicates. So that is the whole purpose of doing this. We are reducing the amount of research that tech has to do in the field by gathering this information ahead of schedule. So even if the problem that the tech faces on the field is not what we're researching, he will have it. So if he encounters a client that has the same issue, he can find the solution right away. As you can see, it also went to YouTube, and that's very good. And we're also found some stuff on X as well, like overheating. And that's it. Some DJI support articles as well. So there you have it. So this is how we build the tune file. So the time has come to put everything together. So we're going to use this master tune assembler prompt. And probably the most important thing that you need to know about this prompt, first of all, it's huge. And there are ways to automate the creation of the tune file. So don't be discouraged about the size of this prompt. But basically, we're going to have different sections inside the tune file, which are technical specifications, parts and components, installation, operation, maintenance, and troubleshooting. And this prompt is going to grab everything that is related to that product, including the user manual, which you should download from the official website. And I'm going to show you just what an official manual looks like. So basically, we're going to use Claude to create the tune file, and Claude is going to extract this information. Okay, and then it's going to extract all the information we compiled using the other prompts that I just showed you, including the video research, the official product. So what I did is I went to all those prompt results and I basically highlighted them, right? I highlighted them, I copied it, and then I pasted it inside a text file, which I saved to my computer. And that's how you create all these files. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put everything together. So let me run this prompt. So like I mentioned, we're going to use Claude. So let's go to Claude and let's run the prompt. Okay, here we go. So let's run the prompt. And it's going to ask me for all. So you see, I'm going to assemble my tune file. So I'm going to dump all the research and all the manuals that I have, and it's going to put it all together. It's going to remove duplicates. It's going to create the sections, and that's what we're going to do right now. So the prompt has finished running, and it took several minutes. And as you can see, it gave me a basic summary of what it did. And then at the bottom, I can actually download this file. So let me download the file so we can open it. So let's open it. Okay, so I'm going to use Notepad because it's a text file. And here it is. So what are we doing here? We are preloading. We're preloading all the information we can find out about this product. So preloading has two benefits, okay? The first benefit is that the AI is going to take shorter to find the answer to my question during a tech support on-site call. And the second thing, because it takes less time to find the answer, it uses less tokens. So it's a cheaper AI transaction in that sense. So on one side, I'm saving time. And on the other side, I'm also saving money because these calls have a price to pay, right? Every time I make an AI request, depending on how much effort the AI has to do, it will charge. And based on that charge, I can operate using a $25 account, a $20 account, or I have to move up to an enterprise account, right? So this is what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to shorten the lifespan. We're trying to shorten the amount of time that it takes to service a product. And at the same time, we're trying to run the business on the lowest subscription possible. Right? And if you look through the entire tune file, basically it's gather all the information we could about this product. So when I ask a question about it, it's going to go into this file and not the internet to find the answer. So the time has come to index these two tune files that you see right here. And I have them open so you can see they're both tune files. One belongs to my DJI Osmo action camera and the other one belongs to my Sony A7R. And they were built in the previous sections of this video. So if you're wondering what's an index, think of it as a catalog. So according to the documentation, the Claude project can support an unlimited number of files in its knowledge base, but it's bound by 200,000 tokens. Okay, that's about 500 pages of text. So, you know, maybe 300, maybe 400 different products in a single project, and you can have more than one project. So if you were a tech and you were doing Sony cameras and DJI, you would create probably one project for Sony cameras and one project for DJI products. But since this is a small demo, we're only going to do 2. So how to create the index file? So we have this prompt. Now, this prompt's smart enough to know that you could be starting for the first time, or you could be updating the index, or adding files, or removing files. Okay, so here are your 4 options. Since this is the first time we're going to do it, I'm going to select option 1. Okay, and then it's going to ask me how many tune files I'm going to index. I'll say 2. Okay, and so now we're going to grab my 2 tune files that I created. I'm going to drop them in here. And what's going to happen, it's going to create the index now. So the prompt has finished running. So it created the index file. And if we look at the index file, it has 2 entries. One for my DJI Osmo tune file and one for my Sony tune file. So I have to save this. So the first thing I have to do is I have to copy this file name, the master index, and I'm going to go to Notepad. I'm going to go File Save As in Notepad, and I'm going to create that master tune file. Okay, master index tune file. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to copy the content and paste it in there. And so if you run this in the future, okay, and you want to add new products, the prompt that we just ran is going to make another entry with whatever tune file you created. And if you want to remove a file, you basically select the option for removing and you give the name of the tune file you want to remove. And that's how you do it. And this is how we create the index. Okay, the time has come to create the project. Now, I want you to understand the concept of using your computer and syncing your computer projects in Claude with your phone. So both my phone, which is on the left, and my computer on the right are using the same account. So if I create a new project in Claude and I call it text supported episode, and I create the project, it doesn't appear right away in my phone. Okay, what I have to do is I have to, let me use my phone. I'm gonna close everything and then reload Claude and then go to my projects. And now it's gonna show up. It's right here, you see? Now, but I have to do further steps in here. I have to create the system prompt. Now, we have a system prompt right here. And this system prompt is designed to be customized with my name, with the project name, and with the company, your company name. And I'm going to release a PDF document in GitHub that is going to tell you exactly the line numbers where you need to customize this prompt. But since I have it ready, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything. Okay. This is my customized prompt. Right click on it, copy, go back to Claude, go to instructions. This is my system prompt. Actually, let me make this bigger. Okay. So I'm going to add my customized prompt, which is my system prompt. It has my name and it has the project name and it has my company name. Okay, save the instructions. Okay, the next thing I have to do is I have to upload the index and I have to upload the tune files. So there's 2 ways to do it. I can either go in here are my 2 tune files, and then of course I have to add the index. Okay. And so here's my index file that we just created. Okay, everything is loaded. Okay, so if I go back to my phone, remember I'm using a phone emulator. And let me use my phone to control this. You see, I have my 3 project files and the system prompt that I just created in my computer on the right. So this is my phone, this is my computer. Okay, and if I type new chat, and I can use voice commands. New. Okay, what's going to happen now is that it's going to use the system prompt and it's going to create the support ticket right away. Okay? It's going to create the support ticket right away. It's going to put me as the name of the tech and the project name. And so I can say that the customer name is Michael J. So let me use voice commands. Michael J. Okay, so that's the name of the customer. 305-444-4444. Okay, that's the phone number of the customer. And the address is going to be 2300 West Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33133. Okay, so that is the actual skip. So we're going to skip. The customer didn't want to give me his phone number. So what product do I need help with? Osmo Action. Okay, so what's going to happen next? It is going to tell me that it found the tune file. It found the tune file for the Osmo Action. And it's also giving me a reminder when the visit with the customer finalizes, I have to say close visit so I can log the end time for the visit and the summary bill. So this is very important. So all the basics for a tech support system generating a ticket, logging the tech name, logging the customer name, logging the start time, and eventually logging the end time, it's all there. And so the only thing we have to do now is test how good is that answering questions for a specific product. And that comes up next.
Let's do our first live support on-site call. I chose the DJI Osmo Action because I own it and it's easy to film, but this could have been a dishwasher, a TV, etc. Unfortunately, when you start a new chat in Claude and you type new, which is the command we gave it to give us the ticket number, the support ticket number, Claude is going to ask me to create a agent or something else. And this is functionality that has changed over time. So I'm going to type new one more time. So unfortunately, you have to type new twice. And then it's going to understand that you are trying to create a support ticket. And there we go. We have our support ticket, which ends up in number 1703 on April 8. So from now on, we can use voice commands. So let's do that. Mike Myers. 305-444-4444. 2300 West Miami Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33333. Mike@mike.com. Osmo Action. So unfortunately, let's delete this because unfortunately my accent sometimes plays a role in all of this. Osmo Action. There we go. Great. It found the tune file because it's inside the index. So I'm going to tell it to load it. Load tune file. There we go. So all of this was pre-compiled before we started. And so we have everything about the product sitting locally inside the project in Claude. So if I wanted to dial this phone number, the only thing I would do is copy this and then go to my phone. And let me delete it. And I can paste it and I can dial. And so what happens is that I can actually see, let's see.
Thanks for calling DJI.
Great, okay? That's step number one. The second thing I can do if I wanted to is I can copy this and actually send an email, okay? So let's do that. I'm gonna go to compose and paste it. And there we go. I have the ability to send an email. I can go a step further, okay? I can actually tell the app right here, please compose a support email to DJI Osmo support. And the app's gonna be smart enough to not only compose the email, but write all the instructions. There we go. So you see, it gave me the customer phone number. Everything is populated. I don't have to write any of this. And if I click on the send email, it's going to bring up my email, my default email client, which is this. This is Gmail right now. And the only thing I have to do is basically change the address. Okay, I need to remove that. And then I believe I still have it in my clipboard. There we go. So all of this that you can see right now is basically reducing minutes from my support call, but I can go further. Okay, so let me go further, and I'm going to go back to my Claude app, and I'm going to say, show me how to enable Rocksteady mode in my Osmo Action. Okay, so it is going to show me all the instructions in text first. And I'm going to show you how you can enable that into a voice mode. So if you scroll all the way down, you see this play button right here. If I click on it, it's going to start telling me in voice commands what I need to do.
From the loaded to Rocksteady is covered in the video mode section. The best video settings. Quick steps from the manual. 1. Swipe up on the touchscreen in video mode. 2. Tap the Rocksteady enable icon, top left of screen. 3. Confirm DeWarp is off. Rocksteady won't activate if DeWarp is enabled. 4. Ensure firmware is updated. Rocksteady requires it not available in all resolutions. If icon is missing, try a lower resolution setting.
Okay, so if I follow the instructions, I'm going to swipe up just like it said, and there's my Rocksteady enable mode. Okay, and furthermore, there was a video. Now I want you to understand that this video is a long video, and that this link that I'm about to click has the right time code or the second where that section is. If I click on it and continue, it's going to open YouTube. And as you can see, it sent me to the half of the video right away. So if I click on it,
being said though, most of the time you use this camera, you will probably be using the standard
And so-
video mode. So let's now take a look at all the additional settings and menus you should know about so that you can get the best results from this camera. So let's start by swiping up from the bottom of the screen to reveal the recording settings. And the first one we want to adjust is the resolution.
So there's no need to go for the whole video, but basically what we're doing is, instead of the tech having to go to YouTube, look for the video, look for where that setting is, we're cutting down that time, that support time, and that's exactly what we want to accomplish here. We want to reduce the amount of time that the tech is on the field supporting the product. Like I said, this could be a dishwasher, or it could be a big TV, one of those 4K big TVs or an 8K TV. What are we doing? We're reducing the amount of time that it takes the tech to find out something, how it works. We're reducing the amount of time that it takes the tech to send an email, to find a phone number, and that's exactly what AI was designed for. Okay, so the last step I need to do is to create the invoice. But before I create the invoice, I need to close the visit. So let me do that. Close visit. And so what the app's going to do now, it is going to actually record the time. Okay? And there we go. So it took 0.18 hours. Okay? And I can share the link, and let me show you how to do that. Okay? So in order to create the invoice, we're not going to do it inside the same project. We're going to do it in a separate prompt. And the prompt is basically going to grab all this information. Let me show you how to share it. So you're going to click on this link, and usually you will see that only you is enabled by default. You're going to click on share with anyone. Okay? And you're going to copy to your clipboard. Now you have two options. You can go to your text, send it as a text, or you can send it as an email. Okay? Okay, so the next product we're going to support is my old Sony A7R, which is almost 10 years old. And so we're going to do the same drill. We're going to click new, and I can type new, and I'm going to have to do it twice. Okay, unfortunately, this is currently an issue with Claude because it's trying to create agents for everything. So close this and type new again. New. And now it's going to create the support ticket and start the whole process. There we go. Okay, so this time, okay, now, so let me say Sony A7R. Great, it found the tune file, so let's load the tune file. Load file. And there we go. It gives me the support page. Once again, if I go to the official support page, I can click here and it's going to send me to the support page for the Sony. There we go. That's the official support page. If I go back to the app, I can once again find the phone number. And this is very interesting. For example, Sony does not give you a support email. And so you would have saved the tech 5 minutes to figure out that there's no support email. Okay, and look at this, status discontinued, so there's no more warranty for this product from Sony. Okay, so let's ask it a very common question for this camera, which is, why is the shutter noise so loud in the Sony camera A7R? There we go. And so if I press play, I can hear it. So let's do that.
The A7R uses a mechanical focal plane shutter. It's inherently loud by design. There's also a documented known issue tied to this. Shutter shock, GKI1. The mechanical shutter causes significant vibration at mid-range speeds, R12s to 1/250s, which can also amplify perceived noise. This is a known design characteristic of the original ILCE 7R. Workarounds. Avoid mid-range shutter speeds when possible. Use a heavy tripod with vibration damping. Add weight to the camera body. No hardware fix available for this model. There is no silent electronic shutter on the original A7R. Later A7R models, as added electronic first curtain shutter, EFCS. This unit does not have it. If the shutter sounds abnormal, grinding, clicking, or error messages, that may indicate the separate shutter failure issue. Want me to pull that?
So as you can see, we are saving minutes, maybe 10 minutes for the tech to figure this out. And that's exactly what we want to accomplish doing this. Show me a video related to the shutter noise. And as you see, it's looking for the chapter where that is. And let's see if it sends me to the exact chapter.
So yesterday I did this little demonstration of manually focusing a Voigtlander lens on my A7R, and this lens is a great option for a camera that there aren't very many lenses available for yet. And there is one problem, however. Shutter shake is something that people have been talking about, where you push the shutter, and this is a pretty violent shutter.
Okay, we don't need to watch the whole video, but that goes to show how powerful this is. So this was all pre-compiled before we ran the support ticket inside the tune file. Let me show you one more thing that we can do with the with the Claude support app. And it's, let's say that the camera was broken and you wanted to take a picture. You could click on the plus sign here. Okay, go to camera and actually show inside the ticket that you actually took a picture of the broken camera. Okay, so now this gets recorded in the support ticket. Okay, so I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to say close visit, and then what that's going to do is going to record the end time of the support call, and I can share this link one more time. So if I click on the share link to anyone, okay, that's very important. I'm going to share a link, copy it, okay. I'm going to go back to my browser one more time, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, think of this link that you're seeing here in my browser like if your assistant received it. And so what happens is that now your assistant using this information can create the actual invoice and the bill, right? And let's see if I can. No, so that's one of the downsides of this is that only you can see the pictures that you took, but you can't share them. So
Okay, the time has come to send the bill. And basically, we have to run this prompt. Now, this prompt has to be hard-coded. So you have to customize this to your needs. You have to put your company name, your address, your phone, your email, and of course, many other things like the tax rate, if there's a travel fee, what payment methods you are willing to accept. So I already have that customized here. So let me grab this. And I'm going to use a free account for Claude. So there it is. So I would say $50 an hour. Okay, so here's the transcript. So I send it to myself. Remember that you could share these links. So let me grab this link. I'm going to open a new window. Remember, this is not the account that I use. So the only thing I have to do in here is grab all of this information. Okay? All the way to right there. Copy it and paste it in here. Okay? And what's going to happen is that Claude is going to extract all the information. So this is the customer that I saw, I think, with the Sony camera. There it is. This is the Sony camera bill. And, you know, I charge $50 for travel and I charge a minimum of 1 hour. Okay. It's going to say yes. And it's going to generate the bill. And it's going to create a PDF. And there's the bill. Okay, so it's still generating the bill. There it is. Okay, so there's two ways to download the bill. I can click on this icon here, or I can click on this icon here. So let me click on this one. It's going to send it to my download folder. Let me open it. And there's the PDF. Okay, so as you can see, it took maybe a few minutes, 2 minutes to create the bill. You don't have to be babysitting this. You can just leave it running. And so it's very easy to create the bill. You just have to share the link and nothing else. So now I'm going to show you how to download the prompts. So this website is called GitHub, and it works just like any website in the world. I'm going to include this link in the YouTube description below. So when you go to the link, you're going to select the language that fits you best. And then you have three options for downloading everything. The first option is you can click on the full download zip, and then you click on the download icon. And if you click on it, it will download it to your download folder. That's option number one. Option number two is you can individually download one prompt at a time. If you do that, you click on the prompt and then you also click on the download icon. And that will also send that file to the download folder in your computer. And the third option is you click on the code button right here, and then you can select everything that's inside the prompt window, right click on it, select copy, then go to your computer and select Notepad or whatever text editor you have, and then paste it. And that's how you download the prompts from GitHub. So here are my final thoughts. The Claude AI app, which was originally created as a chatbot interface, can easily be converted to a full application if you have a good prompt engineer. I only found two issues. Having to type the word new twice is annoying, but overall not a real problem. And of course, the fact that a person receiving the invoice cannot see the images taken in the field when I share the ticket link, that is also an issue, and I hope Claude fixes that going forward. Other than that, if you have a good prompt engineer, the sky is the limit. So what are the business advantages of converting a chatbot app into a full application? Is first, you save thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're familiar with tech, you probably already know that adoption of a new technology has many challenges. The cost of maintaining the app, upgrades, security risks, deployments, etc. This example is just the beginning. There's so much more you can do with an AI chatbot app. And if you think creating a tune file was too time consuming, I will have an episode in the future to automate most of the process. I also want to mention that creating a tune file is a one-time effort, and once the file is created, you can share it across many employees in the same company or even people outside the company. Finally, let's talk about workforce amplification. Clearly, the app was able to retrieve information in seconds, creating emails in seconds, showing you videos and the correct section of the video in seconds. This not only means substantial time savings, but also the ability to put a junior tech on the field and give them the tools to complete almost any job. And the best part is that the training to learn this Claude app and the prompts used take less than 1 hour. I hope you liked this episode, and thank you for watching.